fought the Nilfgaardians a few years back. Now we make camp with the Black Ones.
That's politics.
Greetings, Geralt, in these humble foreign walls.
Greetings.
My heart rejoiced to see that dear old noggin of yours emerge from a sea of unknown faces.
I see you prefer the company of Vernon and his men.
The soldiery in Henselt's camp looks at me like I'm a lump of rotten meat.
You think they suspect you of being a spy?
Who the fuck knows what's in their bloody heads? You know what? I regret I'm not a spy. I feel like the last bloody cunt here. Somewhere nearby, my brethren are sharpening their axes, just waiting for the fog to dissipate so they can blunt them on some kid-winny necks.
You've been around. Heard anything about the Kingslayer?
Just that Henselt is shitting himself for fear that his head is about to be separated from his shoulders. For me, the assassin's hiding out in the ravines. An ideal place for his kind. Anyway, I've been wondering, why the fuck do you care so much about this cunt that you're so ready to stick your neck out to find him?
Because I'm innocent.
The wise know that. And I didn't think you'd trouble yourself about what the fools think.
As long as Letho is free, I'll remain a suspect. I can only prove my innocence by presenting the culprit. No other way.
What will you do when you find him?
We'll see when I talk to him, when I learn the truth. Maybe I'll see his point, and maybe I'll just cut off his head. All rested after the boat trip?
Don't remind me of that. My stomach churns at the very thought.
You could have traveled here on foot.
If I'd known it before days of rocking, I would have. And if they told me I'd be eating dried and salted cod 3 times a day, I'd have clobbered myself with my own hammer before boarding that boat.
You're spending all your time in Roche's camp. Have you two become chums?
Chums? That's a bit rich. But he doesn't piss me off as much as he used to. Either he's changed or I've grown accustomed.
Maybe both.
Maybe. Besides, the camp has loads of other attractions. His men cheat me at cards, and there's a tit or two to hang the gaze upon.
If that's what you're after, there's a regular whorehouse in Henselt's camp.
How can you compare a whore's tits to Vessi's? I could buy myself the others, but hers are just to be admired.
Are they...
I found a letter addressed to the people of Kedwen.
A letter? So?
It's your drivel, idiot.
Where'd you get that idea?
I know you. Not to mention you had the gall to quote me.
You're not the only witcher in the world.
So, you admit it's yours?
Sure, it's mine. People have had enough of that pompous clown colluding with Nilfgaard. I decided I needed to open their eyes a little wider.
Any idea what that pompous clown's going to do when he finds out who's opening his people's eyes?
How would he find out? It could only come from you, and I assume, at least I hope, you won't rat me out.
They're going to kill you.
Nah.
Why did you poke your nose in this?
Henselt approached me to write a few panegyrics about him. You know, singing his praises. Can you imagine that? Me? Writing a political pamphlet? Who the hell does he think I am?
But that's exactly what this letter is.
Possibly. But it's for a good cause. Henselt's a prick.
And they don't trouble the locals?
Morning.
Damn it.
Everything all right, Geralt? Throat's parched from all this running about. We need booze for the evening.
Hello. Damn it. Salutations.
Greetings, Geralt.
Greetings, Vess. What news from the Blue Stripes?
They're keeping their eyes open, as always.
Henselt thinks he'll take Vergen easily.
A regular army will always win against a popular uprising. I know this. Henselt knows it. I don't understand why Saskia doesn't.
Maybe she'd rather die than surrender. Or she has a surprise in store for Henselt.
Possibly. Henselt keeps the precise plans of his campaign a secret.
Why haven't you set up in the Kedweni camp? Information becomes more available the closer you get to the source.
Henselt doesn't trust us, and I don't blame him. If not for this damn fog, we'd have moved even further south.
We've lost the assassin's trail.
The trail led us here. If it goes no further, the assassins must be in the vicinity. I see two possibilities. Either Henselt hired them, or he's their next target.
We'll find out soon enough. Could Henselt himself be behind the assassinations?
You don't think it's possible? Consider the Pomtar Valley. Temeria, Kedwin and Edirn have been disputing it for generations. Only now, Temeria and Edirn are kingless.
True. Henselt might profit from the deaths of Foltest and Demavend, but covert assassinations aren't his style.
I suppose you're right. The Kedweni king seems to love a good war. Just take a look around. Perhaps that's his ruse. When the cheese goes missing from the larder, no one thinks of blaming the cat.
Oi! What you doing here?
Get out of the way. I need to inspect this area.
Be careful! They say stepping in the ashes brings bad luck.
Get us out of here, will ya?
You came here on your own. You can get back on your own.
This place is crawling with drowners. I mean, we'd have stayed in our tents on our arses if we'd known. We're safe in the circle, but 3 feet outside, and who knows what would happen.
All right, we'll go back together, but let me look around first. Apparently, it's bad luck to tread on the ashes. Strange aura. Let's take a closer look. An unnatural stillness typical of intersections and places where streams of the power meet. Unnerving, but harmless. Candles, amulets, coins. People make offerings here like they would at a shrine. Candles. The stench is worse than Zoltan's boots. Nothing unusual about them otherwise. Square coins adorned with a fish. I guess the plotters like to come here. Let's see. People seem to be staying away from the wheel. They're afraid. All the gifts are at a safe distance from it. Except for one person. With Kedweni army-issue boots. Glad to know I'm not the only one to desecrate this site. Animal tracks. Dogs, wolves, bears, even birds. You'd think this was a feeding ground, but they all fear the circle. Except for cats. Their tracks are everywhere. One even napped on the pedestal. Triss once told me cats like to sleep on intersections, and they're the only beasts apart from dragons who can draw the power. They clearly like this place. Sabrina was nailed to this wheel. Something protected the wheel from the flames. It's hardly scorched. Fresh holes and splinters. Someone's pulled nails from the wheel recently. I better take one, just in case. Carved from a solid piece of stone. Reusable, you could say. I need to bring the king here. I need to reenact the execution. If I can only summon Sabrina's ghost, I could force her to lift the curse. The Draugrs and the mist will remain, but at least the king will be safe. I need to know what happened here. Witnesses of the execution, they're the key. If I can just find out how Sabrina died, I should be able to free Henselt of the curse. 2 leads. Sabrina's cultists and the nail thief who's obviously immune to the aura of this place. Time to question some soldiers.
You've looked and touched your fill, right? Let's get out of here.
Did you light those candles?
We did.
What's it to you?
Burning them for Sabrina?
To you, 'tis a waste of time, right?
Feel their eyes on you. They're watching us. We won't get out alive, superstitious idiots that we are.
Don't you believe the visionary? You don't have to. But it was worth a try, right?
Old idiot. It's his fault we ended up here.
Who is this visionary?
He's behind all this. He talks of miracles in the circle.
I believe him. Know why? He lives deep in the valleys, but something protects him from all those harpies.
Did you see them burn the sorceress?
3 years ago. We both served under Henselt then, but only the 5th Company guarded the stake.
They say the king never wanted to make a spectacle. Some soldiers never come here, but others visit the circle to check the remains.
You're just like them. To you, it's only a superstition to make money from. You're looking for old nails in the ashes.
Like that shitbag who trades outside the inn.
You're mistaking me for someone else.
Really? Then give us the nail.
I'm keeping it.
Keeping it? Not heard what they say? Relics are like fist tech for simple folk.
How did you manage to avoid the drowners on your way here?
The visionary was with us. He led us through, then left.
I don't like this place.
Thought you'd want to stay the night here.
I know at least a few places I'd rather sleep. Come on.
Beats me why they've been fighting over these hellholes for generations.
I get goosebumps every time I go outside the palisade.
Guess Vic was right. We should have sat on our arses.
You'll be whistling a different tune when the mist lifts and we attack there.
The visionaries are right back for leaving us here.
I believe it. He hears voices.
Drowner lairs. Not the best spots for picnics.
Curses on him! If it wasn't for you, they'd have eaten us.
We owe you our lives, Witcher.
What do you want, Witcher?
The soldiers you were looking for, they got held up for a while at Sabrina's circle.
Ah, the idiots! To be duped by witchcraft and superstitions. I'll put them to scrubbing the latrines indefinitely. But I thank you for bringing them back. Your reward, as promised.
I heard there's a man living outside the camp known as the Visionary. Ever met him?
The soldiers talk about him, but I've never seen him. If I ever do, he'll regret that he fooled my people with all those superstitions.
Did you see Sabrina's execution?
Wish I could have, but only the 5th Company was sent there. She deserved it. What she did to the boys. Believe me, I've seen a lot of monstrosities in my life. My brother died during a coup in Rhind when a mage boiled the blood in his veins. Also, I once saw a soldier raping a dead elf woman.
But 3 years ago, people melted like lead. Something you can't forget, Witcher.
There's a soldier by the inn selling scraps from Sabrina's execution site.
I know. The damned quartermaster. This business of his muddles the minds of the soldiers. Suddenly, everyone believes a splinter in your pocket will protect you in battle. Half-wits.
After what happened here 3 years ago, it's no surprise they're terrified.
I'll tell you one thing, Witcher. In combat, I can count on my shield, my armor, and my comrades, if they still live. Many of those boys will die in Vergen, even with their pockets stuffed with mystical splinters that cost a silver piece each. I want them to be afraid. When steel hits steel, I want them to be alert, damn it! If they're dumb and put their trust in rusty nails and ashes, they won't have a hope in hell.
So long. What's going on?
Stay out of it.
Sabrina was a saint in her lifetime. Remember how she healed the wounded?
But now she's dead and can't help anyone.
I believe the visionary. Those who dismiss his words are doomed.
Doomed are those who take lunacy for prophecy and carcasses for holy arses.
What's this argument about?
I bought a relic to protect me from Scoia'tael arrows. They say I was ripped off.
That relic's rubbish.
Show me the relic.
What for?
I have a similar nail. Mine's rusty, but this one looks like new.
So what?
Told you! The seller ripped you off!
I'd like to talk to him.
Better hurry up, because if he's conned me, I'll chop his head off.
So long.
Relics, artifacts, trinkets and talismans, hallowed and highly valuable.
I found footprints at Sabrina's execution site. Do you know anything about that?
Why would I? You found them, not me.
Yet your boots are black from ash.
Shh. All right. What do you want to know?
Do you remember the sorceress Sabrina?
Same as all the others. Looked like a young nympho, but an old hag inside. You want to talk about her? See that freak who burns candles?
Did you see Sabrina's execution?
Sure I did. I was in the 5th Company. I remember the commotion when that idiot Yahon killed her with a spear. Ah, if only I had that spear now.
Where is Yahon's spear now?
I don't know. Besides which, it's none of your concern. I simply won't talk about that.
Do you remember the curse that Sabrina placed on the king?
When they set the stake on fire, she shouted something to the king. His face went red, but I couldn't hear very well. She probably foretold his syphilis. A gruesome death.
You know Yahon?
Never heard of him. Where'd you get the idea that I know him?
Do you remember the sorceress Sabrina?
Same as all the others. Looked like a young nympho, but an old hag in...
So long.
Look at that, boys.
I need magic powder to mark out the runes.
Are you aware that the formula requires powdered camphor resin?
I am.
Then you must also know that the resin is extremely valuable.
Get Henselt to pay you. I need the powder to do the exorcism, reverse the prophecy, and release him from the curse.
You should have said, I'll give you as much as you need.
Thanks, on the king's behalf.
I've one more thing you might find useful.
What's that?
You asked me for protective runes. I've done better. Take this grimoire, which details many. I believe there's even one for syphilis. I've marked my recommendations.
Thanks. Spoken to the king yet?
Indeed, he was delighted to hear he can be cut from the curse.
Great, because I need the medallion of the priest known as Crest. I heard it's in Henselt's possession.
He'll give you nothing until you free him from the curse. Truthfully, I believe I understand him. You have a good chance of perishing when you confront the Draugrs.
Give me a break, Deathmold. The two of you are just afraid I'll leave this entire mess in your hands.
Ah, that is something I do not fear at all, for I know exactly why you're here. As for the king, you may curse him and scold him and call him a fool if you wish, though it's not something I would advise.
Learn anything new about the curse?
A mage on the other side of the fog is also probing the battlefield. A sorceress.
How do you know?
You shall know them by the fruit of their spells. Magic differs with the brain type that generates it. The female mind is simply laid out differently.
It could be Triss.
No, Witcher, it's someone far more powerful.
I found Trot and a few other enthusiasts of the square coins.
Did you learn who leads them?
No.
Any survivors?
No.
Oh, you might at least have spared Trot. I'm sure he had secrets.
I'm afraid he took those with him.
There was a reward on the conspirators' heads. Do you wish to collect, or is it beneath your witcher's dignity?
I could use the gold.
How many were there?
Vincent and 5 others.
You killed 6 men! You and your kind should be isolated.
The reward?
Is yours. Here.